Hello everyone, today let's take a look on the view scale inside of the Revit project. So this is for complete beginners. If I go to my view, you can see that it has some view scale which can be found either in here or in here. And as you can see now, it is set to 1 to 50. So how does this scaling works inside of the Revit project? Is in the way that you are always drawing in the 1:1 view scale. And only then, when you select the view scale from the drop down here, or you can create your custom view scale if it's not in here. For example, you can see 1 to 150 is not present, so I can just create my custom view scale and set it to 1 to 150, and you can see the view will scale automatically. So I will go back to 1 to 50. And we will take a look on that inside of the sheet with the view already placed on the sheet, because we will be better able to see that. So you can see I have my view on a sheet. It is in the 1 to 50 scale. And now if we take a look on our annotation objects, for example, the dimension here, you can see that this dimension is telling me that it is 3 millimeters areal. If I go into my type properties, here you can see the text size is 3 millimeters. And this parameter is telling you that the text size will be always 3 millimeters when printed, so when placed on the sheet. So if I go back here inside of my sheet and I look at it and I try to measure it, let's go with the measure tool in here and let's measure this number. So you can see this 3 millimeters long, because that is the setting of this dimension. And basically this setting is the same for all of the annotation objects, for the text and so on. So when you set it inside of the properties, this is always telling you that this will be the height which you will see when placed on the sheet or when printed on the paper. So now if I change the scale, if I select this view which is placed on my sheet and I change the scale, let's say to be 1 to 100, you can see that it automatically scales down and it is 2 times smaller. And you can see all of my annotation objects scaled accordingly with the proportion based to the building itself, to the model objects and model elements. And you can see again, if I try to measure this inside of my sheet space, you can see this always 3 millimeters high. If I go now into my view as it is and I try to measure this, now you can see that this is 300 because it is scaled accordingly based on the view scale 1 to 100. So again, if I change this back to 1 to 50, you can see that the view is now 2 times bigger. It's scaled automatically for me. I do not need to do anything. I do not need to recalculate anything. And again, if I measure this on the sheet, it is 3 millimeters. If I go inside of the view itself, you can see now it is 150 because it is scaled based on the view scale. So the only thing you need to remember when working with the view scale inside of the Revit project is that you are always drawing in 1:1 scale your model elements when you are modeling, and then only when you are creating your views from the model, you are choosing the scale at which you want to show this particular view. And based on this scale, everything else will be automatically scaled accordingly, so it will be as it should when placed on the sheet and when printed on the paper.